All right, in this tutorial, we are going to walk through how to use FitBUX's technology to simulate paying off your student loans. And we actually have two different ways of doing this. The first way is within our financial plan building technology. In my opinion, this is the most important way of doing it because you can add in different life events and different factors into it. The other way is if you just said, look, I just want to look at repaying my student loans by themselves, and that's it, then we have a tool for that. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you both ways to do that, okay? First and foremost, before you do anything, you're going to want to go over here to my profile, and you want to go to accounts, and you want to make sure that you have your loans in here correctly. This one, I didn't link my accounts. I just did it manually, and I put in each of the loans and the interest rates on those loans. And that is key because our tools feed in off of this data. Okay, now I come in here, I already have a plan built, so I'm going to go to edit plans, I'm going to go to the payoff one. And when you come in here to money for future goals, you will see in here that I have this information where it says minimum amount and whatnot. These are all calculated based off of that account and our federal debt off of your profile. So you want to make sure that that's up to date so that way these numbers are up to date. And if you're looking at paying off your loans, then you'd want to choose one of these two options, the standard plan or the extended plan. Those are the two. And so you can see if I choose the standard plan, how it changes the minimums and whatnot based on what I have in my profile. And if these numbers are not correct, you'd have to close this and go back to that accounts page and update it, okay? Then if I want to see what would happen with my student loans, I can come over here to additional questions, say which which method I want to follow, high interest rate or low balance, and then I can simulate and review my plan. And once it's done simulating, I can come over here to debt, and I can see a projection of how long it would take me to pay off my loans down here on the dark blue line. I can also get a summary underneath goal summaries to see exactly the date that we're projecting. Now, a couple things that are different on this tool that are different than the standalone tool that we're going to go through next. On this one, it's going to assume that you also have income increases over time. And in this, because I have no other goals, it's assuming that I'm putting more and more money towards my student loans as my income goes up. Why? Because that's what we always say at FitBUX. As your income goes up, you should be putting more money towards money for future self. So if your only goal underneath money for future self is to pay off your debt, it's going to put more and more money into that. So this is more realistic on how fast I can pay off these loans versus the standalone tool where you're just looking at your loans, okay? The other thing that this does is if you're a student, okay, it will take into account any future debt that you get while you're in school. Whereas our standalone tool, it does not. It only takes into account the debt you already have. Okay, so that's the big difference between the financial planning tool that we use versus the standalone tool. Okay, now the standalone one, let's go ahead and dive into that one. I'll show you guys how to use that. You would come over here to your profile, goes underneath tools and products. You can see we have a bunch of standalone items in here. I'll come in here to student loan payoff tool. You can see these are the loans that I have. I can say, how do I want to extend my loans or whatnot, or if I want to extend them out to 25 years or use the standard 10-year plan, I can choose the term of my loans. I can come down here and I can hit next. I can see what my monthly payment would be, potentially put in a prepayment if I want to, and I can hit view strategies, okay? Now, if I wanted to see something like, hey, I only want to pay off certain loans, you can see in here that I have different interest rates. So maybe I don't want to pay off my 4% loans and my 3% loans. So I can come in here and I can hit next and I can put some information here. By putting 5% in here, you're basically saying only pay off my loans above 5%. So if I do the prepayment now and I hit view strategies, you can see that this would recalculate here. And I would click this, the aggressive strategy with interest rates, and you can see that pay it off, pay it off, pay it off. And then there's a flat line here because that's will I sell my loans, but I stop making prepayments and paying extra. So that's how you use this tool. It's really mostly used to determine like how much and how fast I could pay off my loans based on a set dollar amount. Like I said, the difference between this and the financial planning technology is that the financial planning technology allows you to have earnings increases in there, so you're paying more over time to your loans. It allows you to add other life events in there and whatnot, so you can see how it might happen, like if you get married or have a car or credit card debt or whatever it is. It's more dynamic. This is just for a standalone. If I'm just looking at this and I make X payment, how fast can I expect to pay this off? Okay, that is the tutorial on paying off your student loans. We'll see you in the next tutorial.